Hi guys!
Hi!
Welcome back to another live stream here from Lugosol Portable Sawmills. The headquarters in Härnösand, Sweden.
Fantastic.
Today, the subject for today is chainsaw mills.
And everything about them.
And everything about them. At least about Lugosol's chainsaw mills.
Exactly.
Andreas here with my colleague Anton. We are going to discuss a bit about the F2 and F2 Plus chainsaw mills from Lugosol. If you are interested in our products and want to know more, please visit our homepage, go to lugosol.com, and while you're there, sign up for our newsletter to be the first to know about cool new products, campaigns, and other interesting stuff here from Lugosol. So, Anton, let's talk about chainsaw mills. Why? Why do you want a chainsaw mill?
Why do you want a chainsaw mill? Of course, to cut your own boards. And it's a fantastic construction since it's simple yet so effective. So I would say that it's a high capacity sawmill.
Yeah, and it's easy to use
and fun.
and fun. And with Lugosol, you can always expand your business and expand your sawmill.
Indeed.
All our chainsaw mills are modular, so you can extend them to any length you want. And we have several options for saw units. In Europe, we have the electric chainsaw mills, both the ES5 and ES8. For the rest of the world, we have a chainsaw carriage, which fits almost any chainsaw on the market. Although we do recommend a really powerful chainsaw to make the milling more fun.
So you can say that the bottom line would be about 5 horsepower.
5 horsepower, 67 cc's, around that, to have a good experience with the chainsaw mill. But as Anton said, it's really easy to use, really easy to set up, and you get an amazing result with the Lugosol chainsaw mills. We, especially with the ripping chains that we have the Stihl Pico 3 PMX.
Yes.
3.8 PMX. And it's great for ripping when you're cutting along the fiber and leaves a super smooth surface. And I would say the surface is even better than on a chainsaw mill.
And I can only agree.
On a bandsaw mill.
And a bandsaw mill. And we can demonstrate that later, but the end result is, you can expect it to be really, really good. And
when it comes to the differences, we have 2 models. We have the F2, here's the F2 Plus, and we have the F2 over there. What would you say, Anton, is the biggest difference between them?
I would say the biggest difference between them is the first thing you see when you look at the F2 Plus, for instance, that it's a bit of a sturdier construction, and it gives you the opportunity to cut wider logs. So with the F2, you can cut logs that are up to 70 centimeters in diameter. And with a standard F2, you can cut logs that are up to 50 centimeters in diameter. And the F2 Plus also have a really neat construction that makes it even more portable. And that is that you can disconnect the
guide rail assembly.
The guide rail assembly from the log lifts. So it basically becomes about 3-4 parts. So you can put the guide rail assembly, for instance, on a trailer or on the top of your car, and put the log lifts in the luggage area, in the trunk. So it's really easy to transport, even though it's a little bit heavier than the normal F2. But overall, it's also made out of anodized aluminum, which makes that so that it's a light material that doesn't oxide.
Corrode.
Corrode. It's
Yeah,
corrode.
or rust.
Rust. Exactly. Rust is a better word.
So it can stand outside without any issues. Just remember to put some lubricant, some oil on the metal parts that are on the mill itself. I forgot to mention, we have the chat open, so you can ask questions both on YouTube and on Facebook. I'll go and check that right now so I can see.
And we're very eager to see if you have asked any questions. And any question you have, please write it and we'll be sure to answer it. So on this one, on this F2 Plus, we have an ES8 motor, which is an electrical 8 kilowatt motor, so it's a really powerful option. We also have the ES5 that has about 4.6 kilowatt. And the ES5 is really good for normal usage, the more sporadic milling, while we recommend the ES8 for more all day long projects. And if you know that you're going to cut hardwood, for instance, we would recommend the ES8. Did we have any questions?
No questions.
No questions.
So let's start milling.
I think that's a fantastic idea.
Yeah. So we have a cant that we prepared here. So we made the sides of the cant, so it's 6 inches wide now. And it's time to start getting some real edged lumber out of that cant. And the good thing with the Lugosul with the lifting system is that we have increments of 1/4 of an inch, which is the same as the kerf on this chain and guide bar. So by lifting the log lifters 5 clicks, we have 4 clicks for an inch, and the 5th click is for the kerf. So really easy to calculate the kerf when you are milling.
So for instance, if you would like a 2-inch board, it would be 9 clicks.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect.
So we'll go ahead and raise that up. 5 clicks on both log lifters.
So would you like to have the honor?
Yes, thank you very much. A beautiful board right there, 1 inch thick and 6 inches wide. And this is the fun part, when you get to that, when you have that cant prepared and you can start just slicing it up into lumber.
Beautiful board.
That's just beautiful.
And we have
a
special feeding unit on this one.
Yeah.
It's a manual distance feeding. So we have connected the sled of the carriage of the electrical motor to a cable, and then you can stand in the end side of the sawmill and control the carriage from there.
Really nice, so that you don't have to stand right next to the motor where the sawdust comes out. But let's do another. I've already reset it for the next cut.
Perfect.
And we'll do one more. Will you do the honors?
Thank you. Another
Beautiful.
great board.
Yeah. It's a success yet again.
And it's such a luxury to cut your own boards. It's a bit of sensation with the smell and the beautiful end product. It's fantastic.
And of course, with a good chainsaw such as this, the Stihl MS661, it's a 90 cubic centimeter, 7.5 horsepower petrol chainsaw. You can cut almost as fast as with the electric chainsaw. Not as fast, but almost. And with the powerful chainsaw, it's so much more fun to use the sawmill. So let me just show you how easy it is even with a chainsaw.
Great.
And the cutting, the surface is just as good as with the electric chainsaw.
Definitely.
Thanks to a superior guide bar from Cannon Bar and matched together with this ripping chain from Stihl, the 63 PMX ripping chain. It's really beautiful. Let me show you guys. You can see for yourself, hopefully. Look at that. It's fantastic, the surface finish you get.
Straight and smooth.
Yeah, exactly.
It's perfect. We can also mention that the carriage for the chainsaw is always included with the sawmill. And when you buy an electrical saw, the carriage for the electrical saw will come with the electrical sawing unit or saw unit.
We have a question from on the YouTube chat.
Oh.
Mark TCSO. He has an F2 Plus. I've been running a Husky 395 with our cutting package. I recently purchased an 881 and I'm a bit concerned about using the Stihl Pico chain supplied. The cutting package that we have will, I'm not sure exactly what cutting package you have, but if it fits the Husky, the 395, and it's the same guide bar that we have for this Stihl 661. I don't think that guide bar will fit the 881 chainsaw. It's a different guide bar mount on the Stihl MS881. However, I think you can find guide bars that will fit the MS881, but they will not be for the 1.3 millimeter Pico chains. You need to go up to 1.6 millimeter normally, but it is possible to run the Pico chain on the 881, but the 881 is so powerful, so you risk breaking the chains, that the chains will actually break due to the high torque of that chainsaw. I believe that the guide bars we have are for the 881 are both 1.6 millimeter. I don't know what that makes in inches. 0.058.
Should be about right.
Is that 1.6? A 0.050 gauge, I think, is 1.3. 0.058 gauge is 1.6. I think so. I'm not completely sure about that. But the 881 and the 661 have a different guide bar mount, so the guide bars aren't interchangeable between those chainsaw models. But we've been running the Pico chain on the 881 and it works, but there is a risk of chain breakage due to the power. But other than that, the 881 is a monster of a chainsaw and will not hesitate at all when milling lumber like this.
We can also mention that when you buy a chainsaw mill, these log holders are always included with one for every log lift. And they're super practical, easy to use, and they really hold the log firmly without putting any damage to the wood, which is really good.
Mark wrote that he modified the bar to fit it on the 881.
Happy to hear.
So that's why he was able to use it on that. I wouldn't really recommend the Pico chain. However, I think it will work fine.
Yeah.
With the correct sprocket on the chainsaw. Yeah, and you were telling them about the
log holder.
Log holders, the log clamps.
Let's show them again.
Yeah. That's a perfect upgrade for your older chainsaw mills. If you have an M7 or M8, or even the Farmers, the F1 models we had before these two, you can use that the log holder XL.
And you can also, bend them a bit, so you can cut at least 2 inches.
You can pivot them, perhaps. Or angle them, which means that you can go as low as 1.5 inch compared to the older log holders, log clamps, where you had to leave at least a 2-inch plank or board in the bottom. We discussed the F2 and F2 Plus chainsaw mills, the differences between them. The F2 Plus, if you want to mill larger logs, the F2 logs up to 50 centimeters or 20 inches wide. It's the same guide rail, so you can use the same chainsaw carriage on both of them, and all the other equipment we have for the chainsaw mills. I actually remember we got another question about the remote feed for the petrol chainsaw.
Yeah.
And it's actually past the R&D stage, so it will be launched as a new product shortly. I can't share any more information, but have a look out on the web page, and it will show up within a month or so.
But isn't that exciting?
Yeah, it's a super interesting product. It's we've shown it before, where you can remote operate your petrol chainsaw, just as we do with the electric chainsaws. So it's a really interesting product, and I really like it a lot. It's really nice to not walk along the petrol chainsaw.
Super comfortable to stand there in the
to
inside.
stand in the inside and just operate it from there. So keep a lookout on the webpage, or sign up for our newsletter, and be the first to know about when it will be launched. But it's on its way.
Great. So we can put this one back. But as it comes without any feeding, and then you will have to push the chainsaw forward. But on this one we have added a simpler feeding equipment, where you just use this lever to push the carriage forward. So Andreas, what do you say? Another cut?
Yeah, we have some more questions.
Fantastic.
We got a question from Johan Doppler. No lubrication problem when cutting softwood. No, I haven't experienced that before. That you have to clean the guide hole. As long as when you change the chain, just clean it up before you do that. But I haven't heard anyone say anything about with the lubricant hole being covered up when you're cutting softwood. And we're cutting, I mean, a lot of softwood, at least here in Sweden, and no issues whatsoever with that. But of course, when you change the chain, it's easy to forget about cleaning it just before you put it back, or if there's sawdust that have stuck together already that covers up the hole. So make sure to check that whenever you change the chain for a new one. And then we had another question about that the log lifters don't click anymore, and I'm not really sure why they aren't clicking. If it's after a while, of course, when you get sawdust in there, they will dampen the clicks a little bit. So just clean up the ratchet and the ratchet cam, and to see that everything runs smoothly in there. I think you can get the more audible clicks back.
Great.
Great. We have some.
Do you have any more?
Rain over here.
Yeah, a small shower.
That was Patrick Chaplin asking about the log lifters that have stopped clicking. And I mean, could be an idea to check the spring that clicks, that actually pushes the ratchet against the ratchet cam, so that it's okay. Yeah, I think that's all from us for now. Thank you so much for joining and watching in. Me and Anton will keep on mailing a bit more, I think.
Yeah.
But you guys take care and see you next time.
Yeah. See you. Have a good one.